Hi, I'm Ruth Miller. One of my concerns is to do with education. We've just had the Truth and Reconciliation Commission make its report and all its recommendations. And I'm very concerned that the information that was gathered be made a part of the school curriculum, because there are so many children who are, and adults too, who are unaware of the history of First Nations and also of the Japanese Canadians who were interned prior to the Second World War. I remember my parents protesting when they were interned and saying that they're Canadian citizens, and that didn't make any difference. And then at the end of the war, it was shown that not one of those Japanese had ever been a threat to Canada, and they'd actually been, abused and misused. And to me, these things are important and should be a part of social studies or some kind of curriculum officially in the school program. And that also applies to Chinese laborers. I'm not aware of how many people know that during World War I, 85,000 Chinese laborers were transported across the whole of Canada by the CP rail in sealed boxcars. And where they were going was overseas to France. And what they did there was to dig trenches. And after the war, the Chinese laborers who were still alive had to go and pick up the dead bodies and bury them. And then they also had to go over the territory that had been disputed during the World War I and remove unexploded artillery shells. And of course, sometimes the artillery shells boomed and there they were gone dead. And the worst part of it, to my mind, is that Chinese have a lot of emphasis on ancestry and being respectful to elders. And all of that was lost because of these kinds of things. And I don't believe that's ever really been acknowledged by the Canadian government or by hardly anybody else that I know. And to me, these are issues that affect our time and our people and our policies and politics. And I think it would be important to make children more aware of these.